Total AI for hiring is loved by companies, hated by job applicants, which means it's probably not going anywhere, but the consequences will still be had. I have a family member who just went through a total AI hire promotion, and it was a mess. I'm Dr. Nicole Schmidt. I'm an industrial organizational psychologist, and I research the unwritten rules of work for neurodivergence in the working class and intersections of race and gender. So I have a family member who is involved with a very large organization that I probably shouldn't say the name, and they were determined all of their promotions for the first time based totally on AI. It was for like over 200 people, and they have said it will be the last time. We'll see how that goes because they just threw everybody's name in. They weren't clear what the right criteria were, and they had people assigned to locations around the world that they had no clearance or qualifications for being there. And it was a total mess, and it was depriving these people who have worked very hard to get that promotion of the autonomy of they didn't even get a job interview. And not only is that robbing these workers of their fair promotion opportunity, it's also going to hurt that organization because they're not going to have the people where they would have assigned them had they had a skilled human going through the process that they've been using successfully for a very long time. I think AI hiring is making very clear how many companies do not use clear criteria that is structured and has criteria that can be met, and how much it's based on gut feeling or how much the criteria they're looking at are not job relevant. Some companies are, and the federal government has been better at this because they have been legally required to for a lot of times. But to do hiring effectively, fairly, etc., AI can be used to quicken the process, automate some things, but the criteria still has to be met. And the AI's ability to determine if the criteria is met will depend on how it is trained. The problem with completely AI interviews and hiring is that it takes the human experience out of it to where people cannot ask it, how do you like interacting at work? How has your experience at work been? But let's be honest. Did hiring managers or interviewees ever give an honest answer? No, I've done many videos on here on how you can ask about a company's culture without directly asking because they're not going to give you a straight answer. But it sends the message that you weren't important enough to interview, that there's not going to be human interaction, that you're going to be working with AI to figure it out. And when a lot of companies are doing it in a time with an economic downturn like this, people aren't going to have a choice but to take those jobs. However, in economic downturns, we always see the companies that persist when the economy swings back up are the ones that people actually want to work for. The ones that keep people long term during the hard time are the ones that care about their people. I think it's a disservice to the company too, because when you hire people and you're not honest about the drawbacks of the job, people do leave, and turnover is expensive, even though most of you aren't measuring it. My field has known for decades that if you provide a realistic job preview, you get fewer job applicants because people are like, oh, I don't want to do that shitty part of the job. But you have higher retention because the people who actually take the job want to be there and can tolerate the downfalls, because every job has downfalls. So I think with AI, people are going to have these AI interviews that talk about the company and the way that the company has trained it to, and then people get there and they're going to leave. Not right now, not immediately, not during these economic times, but as soon as they have an opportunity. And then we might have another great resignation where people are like, oh my God, why are people leaving? It'll be interesting to see with how much AI is replacing human labor. I mean, the fear of losing your job with AI from a class standpoint is ironic that like we're worried about not being able to make the wealthy more money. But so far, that's been the only foreseeable livelihood. So it will be interesting to see how it plays out when the bots are doing a lot of our knowledge work, which is terrifying to me because they are not required to be accurate. I love AI for expediting processes and organizing things. The knowledge work I'm still not sold on.